A few months back, the iPhone 11 was announced, and with that, you might have seen an interesting demo from Filmic Pro, which is probably the best app for filmmakers to get the most out of their phones. They were showing that you could record multiple cameras on the iPhone 11 at the exact same time. Well, that app is out today. It's called Double Take from Filmic Pro, and it's completely free. And with this app, you can record any two cameras on the iPhone 11 at the exact same time. So for example, you could film with the ultra wide and the selfie camera at the exact same time, be recording both of those clips. So right now I'm filming on the ultra wide camera and the front facing selfie camera. So you can see me talking, but you can also see everything that I'm seeing, what I'm looking at. And so that's really, it's way too cold. I'm going back inside. Or let's say the wide and a telephoto, so you're getting two different camera angles at the exact same time. And it's actually really simple to use. So here's what the app looks like. As soon as you go in, you're gonna see your camera, and then you have a few different buttons. So first off, you have your camera selection on the bottom left, so you can tap that. And now you get to choose which out of the four, in my case, I have the 11 Pro, which out of the four cameras you wanna record at the same time. I'm gonna choose the ultra wide and the selfie camera, and then you can choose what frame rate you want to be using. So you can use 24 frames per second, 25, or 30. Obviously, we're gonna go with 24 because that's the correct frame rate to be filming at, and then we're gonna hit confirm. Now we see the ultra wide camera, and then we have the selfie camera in this smaller frame on the side here. The camera that you choose as your A camera will be the bigger frame, and then the B camera will always be that smaller frame. And then there's three different ways that we can record this. So the first way is called discrete, and that's just recording both of these cameras separately onto two different video files. So you can see them like this with the picture-in-picture, but they're actually recording two different video clips, and then you can do whatever you want with those two video clips afterwards. And this is the way that I would use Double Take the most, but we can also do picture-in-picture mode, and that is actually gonna record that smaller frame, just like you're seeing it, onto that same video clip. So it's gonna be one video clip with this bigger frame and then this smaller frame, and you can move it around and it's gonna record that there. And then the third way is split screen, and that's gonna do a 50-50 split of the two cameras that you chose. Again, this is gonna be one clip. What you see on the screen here is what you're gonna be filming. And most of the time, I would be using the discrete mode because that gives you all of the flexibility in post. You can do the picture-in-picture or a 50-50 split, or just use the two different angles however you want. So most of the time, probably all the time, I would be filming in the discrete mode. And then all you gotta do is just hit record, boom, easy as that. You're recording two different cameras, two different angles at the exact same time on the same iPhone 11. It's very, very impressive. The only other features here are the histogram on the bottom, which shows your exposure. That's really nice. And then you can also lock your exposure and your focus. So you can select it, and then you can also lock it. And you can do this on both cameras. So I can select, get my face in focus here and exposure. And now we can do that for both cameras. And the really nice part is that you can readjust these while you're recording. So you can be recording and you can go back into either camera, adjust the focus or the exposure. Let's say your subject moved or the lighting changed. You can do that while you're filming. Again, really, really impressive. After that, you just tap the top left icon. That shows you your media library. And from there, you can either export them to your camera roll or send them straight through AirDrop to your friend or your computer, or just through iMessage to your friend, or let's say Matt, my editor in this case. So that's really, really convenient. The Double Take app is very easy, very intuitive to use. I didn't need any instructions. It took me 2 seconds to figure out how it works. So the real question is, what is this app really good for? What kind of filmmaking or what kind of scenarios can you actually use this Double Take app for? Well, the first way I could see this being used is for vloggers. In this YouTube land of filmmaking, it offers a completely different way of being able to film both yourself and the person that you're talking to at the exact same time without having to do that awkward, I'm filming myself and then turn the camera on and now say the thing that you were gonna say, and then, oh, hold on, okay, now I say the thing that I was gonna say. Without having that awkward, weird interaction, you can just hold your iPhone out and be able to record both the person you're talking to and yourself. So that's really interesting. So here I am vlogging, and you can see me and Matt, who I'm talking to here, and I don't have to do any sort of camera flipping. I can just record both of us. That's pretty convenient, right, Matt?
So convenient.
And makes those vlogging interactions with other people just a little bit less weird. Number 2, you could use this for interviews, kind of the same principle. You could be filming yourself as the interviewer and the person that you're interviewing at the exact same time with just one small camera. Very convenient and very easy to do instead of trying to handle 2 DSLRs or even bigger cameras and setting them up. And yeah, there's just a lot of work that goes into getting 2 different angles at the exact same time. And then number 3, this one's a really big one, being able to get 2 different camera angles of your subject at the exact same time. Again, let's say you're doing an interview, you can get a nice wide shot and a telephoto at the exact same time with one small camera. Again, really convenient. So it's a really cool app and it's really easy to use, but there are some limitations, of course. It's not perfect. One of the first ones is that it only records in 1080, so if you need 4K files, you're just not gonna get them. Each of the different cameras that you select is only gonna be recording in 1080. And then the other problem or limitation is framing. So because the cameras are fixed, you can't turn the cameras or move the cameras, there are some issues with framing. For example, if you're doing that vlogging scenario, in order to be able to get you and me at the same time, I'm probably gonna have to hold it like this in front of us. And this could be a little bit awkward because we're both staring at this phone instead of like, you know, at faces and eyes. So this is a little bit tricky. And then if we put it to the side, well then the frame, the angle is gonna be a little bit weird and different. I mean, we could get it real close, but there are some issues there. And then let's say you're doing an interview of a person, you wanna get a nice ultra wide and then you wanna get a telephoto. Well, in order to get that, you basically have to frame your person, your subject, dead center right in the middle, because otherwise you're gonna be cropping half their face out. So there are limitations with framing just because the camera lenses are fixed on there. You can't turn them or move them. You can't reframe things. In certain situations, I was also having a hard time getting the right exposure. For example, here, I wanted to darken it up a little bit more, but I just couldn't get it to go any darker no matter how much I tapped on the brightest part of the image. So it would be nice to be able to manually change the exposure. Also with the framing, if you're filming yourself and another person in an interview setup, you're actually gonna be looking the same way, which doesn't look good if you try to go back and forth between the 2 clips. The only way to really fix this is to either A, look in the opposite direction of the person that you're interviewing, which is awkward, or look dead center right in the camera, basically looking at each other and having the iPhone in between. So it's definitely limited in how you can frame things up. But to me, the Double Take app isn't supposed to replace having high quality 2 or 3 camera angle interviews, or to make it so you never have to turn your camera around as you're filming a vlog. I think what it is a super convenient way of getting 2 different camera angles at the same time with one small camera package when you wouldn't have the ability to do it otherwise. There's times when you don't have 2 cameras to use, or other times where you just can't physically put 2 cameras, or it just doesn't seem feasible to have 2 cameras on you recording the 2 different angles. That's when it's really easy, really convenient to use the Double Take app. And in those times, I don't think it's gonna matter so much if your footage is only in 1080 and not 4K, or if the framing isn't exactly how you would want it, but it still looks really nice. Limitations aside, your iPhone 11 just got a lot more powerful, and any tool that gives us filmmakers more options to do things more conveniently or more easily, or just to be more creative, I think is a really nice thing, especially when it's free. It's really hard to get mad about any limitations when an app is free, and I'm very curious to see what kind of really cool creative ways people use the Double Take app for things like, let's say, TikTok, or the new Byte just came out, Vine 2.0. I'm hoping I don't lose Matt because he used to be really big on Vine, so don't follow him on Byte. Do not. Matt, if you flash your bite thing tag, whatever it's called on here right now, I'm gonna be really mad. So yeah, that is the new double take app from Filmic Pro. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you would use it for. Do you see some sort of real world use case that I didn't think of, whether it's with your YouTube videos or interviews or whatever else TikTok bite that you can think of. I hope you guys like this little overview, and I can't wait to see what you guys do with a double take app, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.